darating. To the Civil Service Commission family, sa pangunguna ni na Commissioners Chair Eileen Lizada at Ryan Acosta, na batid ko ay nabigla rin sa desisyon ng kanilang dating chair na si Attorney Carlo Nograles na magbitiw. Pero tulad nung excited ako nung pamumuno nila noon at yung pamumuno nyo ngayon, ay excited din naman ako para sa kanyang bagong kabanata sa buhay na haharapin. So, gayunpaman, and the chair apologizes for arriving late. We're here to examine the budget that CSC will receive for 2025. Just like before, the subcommittee wishes to see whether the funding will allow CSC to fulfill its mandate as the central personnel agency of government while promoting morale, efficiency, integrity, responsiveness, progressiveness, and courtesy in the civil service. With that, we are now ready to listen to your budget presentation. After which, as has been the practice, our senators, whom I'm expecting, based on their arrival or log-in time, beginning, of course, with the Senate leadership, will have 10 minutes per round of questions. So you have the floor, Chair Eileen.
Thank you po. Magandang umaga po, Sen. Risa. With me today, I have Commissioner Ryan Acosta, Assistant Commissioners Zerna and Nerissa Kangilan, as well as our Director Force po and all our respective offices. So allow me to present the budget for Civil Service Commission for fiscal year 2025. Shown on the screen is the outline of our presentation. Highlights and major thrusts, CSC budget proposal, budget utilization rate, comparative budget allocation, major accomplishments. Next slide, please. For 2025, the CSC will continue to focus on the implementation of our major thrusts, which include formulating human resource policies responsive to the current needs and challenges of civil servants during the pandemic and post-pandemic, such as flexible work arrangements and policy on night shift differential. Enhancing civil service systems and procedures for efficient public service delivery in support of RA 11032 or the Ease of Doing Business. Promulgation of CSC Resolution Number 2301123, Grant of Career Service Eligibility Preference Rating to specified workers in government agencies based on length of service and work performance. Digital transformation by shifting existing external service to digital gateway and digitally enabling regional and field offices. Promoting the human resource maturity in the bureaucracy through the program to institutionalize meritocracy and excellence in human resource management or PRIME HRM. Adopting an additional mode of taking the civil service examinations in response to increasing number of test takers and demand for more frequent administration of the civil service exams. Next slide, please. For 2025, CSC, previous slide po. For CSC will continue to focus on the implementation of our major thrusts, which include, naulit na pala yun. Next. To ensure implementation of our major thrusts, we have a proposed budget amounting to 4,084,845,000. The DBM, however, recommended a budget of 2,744,709,000 as indicated in the 2025 NEP. The 2025 DBM recommended budget is 1,340,136,000 less than the CSC proposed budget for 2025. For our budget utilization rate on major programs and activities, as of September 2024, we have utilized 70.22% of the total NCA releases of 2,000,000,000 252,625,275. Next slide. Comparative budget allocation and utilization rate for fiscal years 2019 to 2023 is shown in the next slide. For the CSC's accomplishments, first semester of fiscal year 2024, as of August 2024, under the Civil Service HR Governance Program on Civil Service HR Policy and Information Management Subprogram, we have registered a total of 199,849 users utilizing data for policy and program development of agencies as of August 2024. There is no available data yet for the indicator percentage of stakeholders who rate the policies as satisfactory or better. For the indicator, number of accredited agencies with Prime HRM Bronze Level Award, our accomplishment is 74 agencies as of 31 August 2024.
Chair Eileen,
Yes po.
the chair notes na tulad sa pag-update nyo ng tawag nito, utilization rate as of September 24 instead of as of June 2024, in-update nyo rin po yung accomplishments as of August 2024
Yes po.
instead of
Yes.
just the first semester of 2024.
Yes, Chair.
Salamat po para doon.
Salamat
Please
din.
proceed.
For the indicator number of HRM systems recognized, our accomplishment as of August is 232. For the indicator number of agencies meeting maturity level 2 in RSP and PM, our accomplishment is at 78. For the indicator timely updating of government human resource inventory, the IGHR as of June 2024 was posted in the website on August 22, 2024. For the indicator percentage number of authenticated copies of requested records issued within prescribed time, the accomplishment as of August 2024 is at 100%. We have surpassed our target.
Also, Chair Eileen, just for the record, I recall dun sa briefing natin bago nitong budget defense, sinight nyo rin yung amendment to Section 4 na halos hindi na nire-require itong authentication habang patuloy na nagdi-digitize yung programs ng
Yes.
CSC.
Yes, Chair.
Okay, salamat, Chair. Please proceed.
We have surpassed our target of 90% on the indicator complaints resolution rate. For the indicator complaints referral rate, 100% of the 871 complaints received were referred to concerned government agencies within 3 working days. We now move on to the second CSC program on civil service professionalization and workplace cooperation. For the sub-program Civil Service Professionalization, we have 4 indicators. For the indicator, percentage of appointments was acted upon, we have recorded an accomplishment of 90.75 or 121% of the target. For the new 2024 indicator, number of days for the release of results, list of passers or eligibles of the career service examination via pen and paper, we have recorded the actual volume of examinees on the March 3, 2024 CSE PPT at 335,385. CSE was able to release the March 3, 2024 PPT results on May 9, 2024. In addition, the August results will be coming out on October 15 this year. On the number percentage increase in the pool of eligibles, our accomplishment as of August is 98,681. For the new 2024 indicator, number of slots made available for examinees of various civil service eligibility examinations, we have recorded 784,154 slots made available for examinees of various CSC examinations, including the slots available for the March and August 2024 CSE PPT and the specialized exams FSO, FOE, POE, and BCLTE. Next slide. For the indicator, number of agencies reporting application of learning, Level 3 Learning and Development Evaluation of Behavior Application, the accomplishment is 27 agencies as of August 2024. For the new 2024 indicator, number of civil servants trained, we targeted 73,752, and our actual accomplishment as of August is 73,109. Next slide. On percentage of CNA-related disputes resolved through amicable settlement, the accomplishment is at 100% as of August. 1,359 agencies were recorded to have accredited public sector unions, while 2,312 accredited PSUs are with registered CNAs or collective negotiation agreements.
And again pala, Chair Eileen, just for the record, so far, number of agencies with accredited public sector unions, 1,359. Pero ilan po lahat-lahat yung number of agencies na voluntarily ay pwedeng magkaroon ng accredited public sector unions?
2,822.
Out of 2,800. All right. Salamat po.
Next slide. As of August 2024, our accomplishment on the indicator administrative case disposition rate is 43.06%. With a target of 70%, our accomplishment as of August 2024 on case resolution rate is 64.17%. Next slide. As of September 2024, we have utilized 70.86% of the total NCA releases of 2,252,625,275 from January to September. For our priority items for restoration and inclusion, the CSC proposed budget fiscal year 2025. For restoration, we have a total we are respectfully submitting a list of 8 items under MOOE amounting to 51,774,746. First, these are items. Next year, Chair, will be the 125th anniversary of the Philippine Civil Service Anniversary.
Significant year.
Significant year, a milestone.
Milestone year.
And likewise, we are respectfully requesting for an increase in MOE for our regional offices, some of them are for utilities, janitorial, security. So as enlisted po and as shown on this page, amounting to 51,774,746. For our capital outlay, we are...
Before we leave MOOE sa wish list po natin, Chair Eileen, sa ngayon, ilang members ng burokrasya natin, ng civil service natin ang kinikilala tuwing Civil Service Anniversary Celebration? And magbabago ba yon next year? And what's the significance po of that moving forward?
Thank you, Chair, for raising that. We have prepared a slide on this, Chair, because right now we are only having 30 awardees and this has been going on for 10 years. Okay. So we would be respectfully submitting for inclusion in the budget of CSE in line with the milestone po natin to increase this number as well.
To how many na po?
To 30 po.
By 30?
To 60.
To 60 na
60
po. All right.
May I proceed, Madam?
Please proceed.
For our capital outlay, we are respectfully submitting a restoration amounting to 81,229,746. This is for the construction of the CSE car building as well as for the CSE Central Office installation of elevator. Going back to what you mentioned, we are respectfully appealing for the inclusion for next year. The CSC will be celebrating the 125th Philippine Civil Service anniversary. For the past 14 years, the number of awardees for the annual search for outstanding government workers has remained the same. 10 for Presidential Lingkod Bayan, 10 for Dangal ng Bayan, and 10 for CSC Pag-asa Awards categories, or a total of 30 awardees. Although the number of government employees has increased from 1,409,600 in 2010 to 2,037,456 as of June 2024, the maximum number of awardees remained the same. Thus, for 2025 onwards, as part of the CSC's Rewards and Recognition Program, we want to recognize more government workers who are deserving of these awards, hence this proposal. Next slide, please. Previously, for 2025, we proposed the increase in the number of semi-finalists and national awardees, as well as the provision of cash rewards for regional winners, which has never been done before. The budget increase will be used for the corresponding cash rewards, incentives, and implementation cost. So in sum, our total would be restoration plus our capital outlay and inclusion in the 2025 CSC budget. Our total amount is 101,934,096 pesos. That is all for us, Madam Chair. Maraming salamat po.
Right. Maraming salamat din po, Chair Eileen and the CSC family. So before we proceed with the Q&A for record purposes, may I recognize our COMSEC to please acknowledge our resource persons present in today's budget hearing. Sorry, just for the record, COMSEC and dear colleagues.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. May I acknowledge the presence of our resource persons for the Civil Service Commission. Budget briefing, we have Assistant Commissioner Karine Zerna, Director Fernando Porio, Director Catherine Limare del Moro, Director Prisco Rivera, Director Jennifer Timbol, Director Maria Teresa Fernandez, Director Norin Boots Gocon Gragasin, Director Solane Duque Basister, Director Maria Victoria Salazar. We also have Director Alma Flores Foronada, I should say. Director Helene Grace Ramos. We also have Director Nel Sherwin Carnetes, Director Fiaberna Salumbides, Attorney Muhammad Kadhim. We also have Mr. Nelvins Senilia, Director Sabrina Luis de Guzman, Attorney Mark Parete, Attorney Joresa de la Rosa Pason, Attorney Cynthia Laurino Polido, Mr. Roland Alvino. We also have Miss Feliz Ebro, Miss Christine Santos, Miss Mira Mesalucha Ordonez. First, we also have to acknowledge Acting Chairperson Eileen Lizada. I think this has been mentioned a while ago by Madam Chair. From Commissioner Ryan Alvino Costa and Assistant Commissioner Nerissa Cangilan. And that's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, COMSEC. Meron po ba tayong mga colleagues na humabol sa ating budget defense?
Was informed, ma'am, by the staff, supposedly Senator Jinggoy, but until now, we haven't received any instruction.
Okay. Thank you. So habang hinintay natin yung pagdating ni SP Pro Tempore, Senator Jinggoy, maybe 2 points, Chair Eileen, I'd like to just follow up, at least for the record, para of record na po ito sa Finance Committee natin. Would you like to tell the subcommittee more about the planned building? Oo. Sorry, may I correct that? Yung a little more detail on the wish list regarding capital outlay para sa improvement ng facilities ng CSC sa ating bansa.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First would be the CSC car, construction of CSC car building. And the second falls under the object of expenditure is our building improvement and other structure. It is the installation of the elevator for the CSC Resource Center. Sayang naman po kasi the budget given to us is I think 9 million but we are short so hindi ko nagagamit po.
Thank you, Chair Eileen. And so sa ganitong mga requests for additional budgets sa various field or regional offices natin, no? Halimbawa sa CAR, I remember also in our briefing, additional or improved facilities sa regions 11 and 12, pati sa NCR was more of janitorial. No? May nabanggit din yata kayo, if I remember correctly, sa Caraga. So what specific targets and objectives of the commission would these augmentations aid?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to give a background for the CSC construction of car building. We'd like to inform the honorable body, the honorable chair, that we are 55% na po doon sa construction ng building. So this is an augmentation po. And for Region 11, since there are some settlers in the area, so we are in touch with the LGU for proper coordination to ensure the proper entry of the regional office in Region 11. And as for the CSC Central Office po, the elevator already existing na rin po ito but lacking po. Kulang ho, nag-umpisa na ito but kulang ho yung budget natin.
Salamat, Chair Eileen. Additionally, okay, while we increase the number of eligibles, excuse me, we continue to notice that agencies still have unfilled positions or vacancies. So ano po yung polisiya ng gobyerno para sa mga ahensya na patuloy na hindi napupuno itong mga posisyon? And I'd just like to note, it's also good we have a representative here from the DBM. Yes, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. That has long been the struggle of CSE because we can only encourage the government agencies, all government agencies to publish, to open up the respective positions, but we do not have the mandate or whatever authority to press on. I think that would be to another government agency po. But we would really want these positions filled up. While they are not filled up, there are some items as well we have learned that are no longer needed or the salary grade is too low because there is a masteral requirement, but there are no takers. But the CSC together with the DBM, likewise, we are touching base on these items po, so that we would be able to attract the respective talents with the corresponding rates po.
Salamat, Chair Eileen. Would Ms. Belinda, Chief Belinda, like to add to the response of Chair Eileen on this issue?
No more additional po, Madam Chair.
All right. Salamat po. And then, perhaps lastly from the Chair to Chair Eileen, balikan lang po natin. Well, before I pose my last follow-up question, gusto ko lang din i-make of record kaugnay nung accomplishments vis-a-vis yung civil service HR governance program. Saan na ba yun? dun sa ano, or rather sa Civil Service Professionalization and Workplace Cooperation Program, yung tungkol sa pag-administer ng civil service exams, na we had a brief but I think significant discussion during our briefing na pati sa ating mga kababayan overseas na interesadong kumuha ng exam at makapag-qualify sa civil service exam. They're looking forward to yung pinaplano na pala ng CSC na mga pamamaraan, whether yung dating sinubukang pag-administer ng mga exam na ito abroad, or pagsalubong sa mga OFs at OFWs natin tuwing uuwi sila, halimbawa tuwing Pasko, na kunin yung pagkakataon na patake sila ng exam. Maybe Chair Eileen would like to make that of record also.
Thank you, Chair. The CSC before used to administer these exams in different countries based on request. However, the cost would be quite prohibitive based on the number of those taking the exams. So it was discussed in the previous commission that what if we have examinations during Christmas time and they come over, so we can discuss. But nonetheless, moving forward, we will be launching soon before the year ends. I'm getting the nod of the director. Our Civil Service Digitized Examinations, or CSDEX. So this would allow an examinee to bring a laptop to any designated center of the CSC and take the exams anywhere in the Philippines in the designated exams. And we will be doing this to pave the way so that wala na ho tayong computerized exams, but the expanded CSDEX will be taking that place. Nonetheless, we will be retaining the pen and paper test, Madam Chair, for areas na mahina po yung ating internet signal. But as for those nasa overseas, we will give them priority slots should they wish to have the exams, to take the exams under CSDEX.
Salamat para doon, Chair Eileen. And that will be good news sa mga kababayan natin, halimbawa na kapulong ko sa Doha recently, at meron naman po tayong embahada din doon kina Ambali Libeth Pono. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you po.
And maybe lastly from the chair for this morning, habang ito, a couple more habang iniintay natin yung ating colleague. Okay, just for the record also na simulan nating pag-usapan sa briefing, Chair Eileen, would CSC and or DBM know whether the government policy on right sizing is still being pursued?
I believe CSC and DBM are touching base for this endeavor. Nonetheless, we would likewise take this opportunity to reiterate po what we have been discussing ever since 2019, which would be the lowering of the optional age of retirement, because somehow this would also lessen the number of government employees without taking so much bulk from the funds po.
Salamat, Chair Eileen. Would Chief Belinda like to add to that?
Madam Chair, we would like to inform the body that we are on continuing support of the right sizing, and the bill is currently under the deliberation in the Congress, Madam Chair, and we have a separate team who would be handling and focusing on the discussion and deliberation of that bill, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Salamat din, Chief Belinda. Actually, nung napag-usapan naming bahagya ni na Chair Eileen nung briefing, ang napag-alaman nila ay, if I remember correctly, tapos na siya sa House, yun. Pero nasa stage of deliberation pa dito sa Senate. At yung mapping nila dito sa amin ay no takers. May iba ba kayong mapping dito sa Senado regarding the right sizing bill?
None that we know of, Madam Chair.
Salamat po, Chief Belinda. All right. So, lastly from the chair for this morning, tungkol po dun sa, of course, yung paborito kong public sector unionism sub-program. So, updated na nga po na 1,359 agencies out of 2,800, so halos kalahati na, ay may accredited public sector unions. At sa mga ito, sa 1,300 plus na ito na accredited PSUs, may CNAs na ang 2,300. At pinaliwanag nga kahapon sa briefing dahil some of these PSUs may more than one, or some of these agencies may more than one union. But still, at least 2,000, there are at least 2,003 PSUs na may CNAs na out of 2,800 agencies. So there's about 500 pa na organisado na accredit na, pero wala pang CNA. Alam po ba ng CSC kung anong status, may initiatives ba itong mga PSUs na ito na makabuo ng CNA sa kanilang mga management or kanilang mga leadership? And may encouragement ba o support o ganon, encouragement na nagagawa ang CSC sa kanila?
We would really want them to continue what you are proposing. That's why we are also likewise encouraging them. No? Ang amin ho is the efficiency in the processing of all of this. But this is voluntary on their end po, ma'am. But we see the advantages when they are organized and when they have their respective CNAs. It empowers them as well. I hope that they will follow suit and that do what is good for the rest of their HR talents po.
Salamat kaayo, Chair Eileen. And also the Chair recalls na several years ago, ipinasa ng Senado yung right to self-organization sa public sector. So salamat sa CSC sa patuloy na pagiging bukas at supportive sa usaping ito. Comsec, parating na ba si SP Pro Tempore? Because so we can wait for him.
Madam Chair, I was advised that in the middle of discussion with someone, may bisita daw po, baka he cannot arrive this time.
Kung ganon, the CSC of course will anticipate questions of the SP Pro Tempore at yung iba pa namin mga kasama pagdating natin sa plenaryo. But at this point, if there are no more additional questions, the budget of the CSC is deemed submitted for plenary deliberation. So this hearing is suspended.
Maraming salamat po, ma'am.
Salamat po at mabuhay. Magandang umaga po din kay Executive Director Maria Marcy Ballesteros at sa mga bumubuo ng Career Executive Service Board, ang ahensyang naatasa na mamahala sa Career Executive Service. We likewise want to listen to your budget presentation and how it can help you fulfill your mandate to continue forming a pool of well-selected and development-oriented career managers who shall provide competent and faithful service to the government. At this point, I'd like to recognize our COMSEC para kilalanin po ang ating mga resource persons.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are delighted to welcome our resource persons from the Career Executive Service Board, headed by the Executive Director Maria Marcy Ballesteros, ma'am. Together with her, we have Jocelyn Lachica, Attorney Erica Añuevo, Michael Lagio, Darius Maya, and Sharina May Ponferrada. And also today, today's budget hearing, we have from the DBM, we would like to acknowledge them as well. We have the Acting Chief, Belinda Cater, ma'am. Orian, Zil Adalim, and Iris Isip. That's all, Madam Chair.
Salamat, COMSEC. And of course, we are grateful to have the presence still of CSC Chair Eileen Lizada. Salamat, ma'am. All right, so ED Marcy Cosare Ballesteros, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Honorable Senator Risa Hontiveros, to the members of the Senate Finance Committee, the Commissioner, Chair Lizada, the Commissioner and Assistant Commissioners and Directors of the CSC, our esteemed officials, my fellow public servants, good morning. May I respectfully present the proposed budget of the Career Executive Service Board. Under the National Expenditure Program, the CESB's proposed budget amounts to a total of 99.99 million, This is inclusive of the RLIP or the Retirement Life Insurance provisions, with current operating expenditures of 96.7 million consisting of personal services, maintenance and operating expenses, and capital outlay. Madam Chair, may I also manifest that this represents a 54% variance from our original budget proposal of 213 million, which includes our Tier 2 proposal of 115.96 million that was stripped from the original proposal. The 2025 budget also include the 39 million for personal services for 40 field positions, 500,000 capital outlay for ICT equipment. With this budget, we hope to fulfill our major thrust and programs and projects. Namely, actually, I would like also to present that our budget is aligned with the Philippine Development Plan. Next slide. It is, nakapaloob po ito sa Chapter 14, Outcome 4 of the Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028, which is practicing good governance and improved bureaucratic efficiency, that competent, motivated, agile, and resilient public servants are supported. This is the first time, Madam Chair, that the CES Board is included in the Philippine Development Plan.
I think that's
particularly-
significant,
Yes po.
ED Marcy.
And that it highlights the need or the direction of the current administration to strengthen the career executive service system through merit and fitness. That here it is explicitly stipulated that the potential and qualified third-level officials will undergo the four-stage CES eligibility examination process, the CES Leadership Management and Proficiency Program, and other CES lifelong learning programs for appointment to CES ranks to build up our critical mass of CESOs or CES officers and eligibles. That's why, through our vision and mission, we will hope to realize the ideals of the strategies, the Philippine Development Plan, by infusing our ranks with well-selected, development-oriented leaders, and through them bring change, expertise, and leadership for a responsive public service. This we hope to realize through our CESB Prexi, through the Career Executive Screening and Development Program. So, as you can see in the next slide, our CESB budget structure consists of the general management supervision and administration of personal benefits, our support to operations, namely formulation of policies, and also our information systems development management to support our frontline operations towards the organizational outcome of merit and fitness system for the CESOs strengthened and a pool of globally competitive CESOs sustained. This we will realize through three main programs: the CES eligibility process and appointment or promotion in CESO rank, the CES performance management and external relations, and CES capacity building, all towards fulfilling our mandate under the Presidential Decree Number 1, Series of 1972, wherein the Career Executive Service Board was created as the governing body of the CES. In the next slide, please. Mandated to promulgate rules, standards, and procedures on the selection, classification, compensation, and career development of the members of the CES. So the highlights and major thrusts of our FY 2025 proposed budget are as follows. We have allocated under the MOE budget an amount of 9.4 million for our eligibility and rank appointment. This consists of conducting CES eligibility examination process, such as the nationwide CES written exams, the assessment center, the on-the-job performance validation, the panel interview sessions, and training and workshops for our assessors, validators, and panel interviewers, and the processing of CESO rounds. Likewise, we have allocated 7.2 million for the professional and career development, precisely to address the thrust of raising the level of managerial competence in the CES, develop a deeper sense of commitment and integrity among CES officials, enhance the overall human resource development program for CES officials to ensure more responsive, purposive lifelong learning and HR intervention programs through the conduct of our flagship leadership management proficiency programs and other executive leadership programs such as big learning events as the Public Leader Summit, the Leadership Conclave, our annual CES Lifelong Learning for Leadership Congress, which gathers around 1,000 CES officials or third-level officials, and our quarterly Human Resource Managers Fellowship meetings and learning sessions. Under the Professional Career Development Program, we also actively engage the institutional training partners of the CES Board for development and conduct of accredited training programs. Likewise, under our MOE budget, we have allocated 7.7 million for our performance management and external relations program, which seeks to strengthen the implementation of the CES performance evaluation system in all departments and agencies to enhance productivity and accountability and promote the morale and welfare of our CESOs and CES eligibles. The CES board administers the enhanced CESPES, which is online, and we process the results and give these results to the agency heads as well as the incumbent officials themselves. Under the Performance Management External Relations program also, we seek to strengthen CES recognition programs such as the Presidential Gawad CES and the CES VIP or Very Innovative Person or Group Award and the Outstanding Cost-Effective Officer Award. We also institutionalize this and strengthen the public and stakeholder support for the CES program through the conduct of our CES Club programs, our annual Lifelong Learning for Leadership Congress, and also in support of our operations and the core mandate of the CES board, we allocated 1.8 million for the policy planning and legal services, wherein we formulate new CES policies and review existing CES policies as instructed by the CES Governing Board. We provide assistance and legal opinion on personnel management concerns involving the CES. We update regularly, monitor the CES occupancy and plantilla information of various government agencies, and maintain our ISO certification. We also include here the 11.6 million allocation for the Management Information System to enhance the service delivery of CES board through information and communication technology with our website, our online CES performance rating of officials, our training events and learning management system. We also here have the creation of web services that will be accessible through the internet, like our executive profiling and plantilla management and monitoring. For the general administration and support services, we have 19.072 million to optimize the financial, material, and human resource and staff training and career development of our organization, for a total of 56.971 million MOE. Madam Chair, let me also present the original proposal of the CES board in comparison to the NEP. As I've said earlier, this is the NEP is a 54% decrease from our original proposal of 213.4 million, which includes our Tier 2 proposal of 115.96 million. For the fiscal year, here, the changes in the item, actually, 11% of the MOE also was decreased in the NEP. And our original request for capital outlay of 248,000 was also reduced to 124,000. Before I discuss at length our Tier 2 proposal, let me also report to the Honorable Chair that in the first semester, the CESB has utilized 44% of our budget uh, with an obligation rate of 44.3 and then disbursement rate of 91.49%. Madam Chair, because most of our learning events are, the big learning events are conducted in the second semester. So comparatively across from 2019 up to 2023, the average budget utilization rate of the CES board is around 90%. We have also submitted our catch-up plan for 2024 to spend the 61.1 million of our remaining budget, a bulk of which will consist the hiring and onboarding of our 11 new personnel, the conduct of learning and development, training, and procurement projects is scheduled for the second semester of around 29 million. And also our procurement of additional ICT equipment, plus the conduct of more 16 assessment centers and 2 written examination, plus the conduct of our flagship training programs. For our major accomplishments for 2024, in terms of physical performance, Madam Chair, our organizational outcomes and performance indicators with regard to merit and fitness system in the CES, we are within the target within the first semester. Our annual target for 2024 on percentage of CES positions occupied by CESOs and CES eligibles is at 51%. But by the middle of the year, we already achieved 50% of our target. So as for the other output indicators, we are on target and we are above target. With regard to the processing of frank appointments of officials within 1 month from submission of complete requirements, we are 100% on that indicator. Our percentage of officials with complete ratings in the CESPES within 30 days, we are 100%. And then in terms of percentage of participant rating our training programs, at least very satisfactory, we have achieved 100% or above our target of 90%. So actually, Madam Chair, from the previous presentation in the previous budget hearing, we have actually realized a more faster processing and approval of our CESO rank appointment with the support of the Office of the President. Since November 2022 up to June 2024, the CES board has recommended 321 officials for conferment of CESO rank. Their documents have been submitted to the Office of the President, and then as of June 30, 2024, our total of 201 were issued appointments to their respective CESO ranks by the President. And during the same period, the CES board also approved and conferred CES eligibility to a total of 248 officials. So actually, Madam Chair, there are only remaining out of the 340 recommended officials for CESO rank appointment. There are only remaining 66 officials who are waiting for the approval of their CESO rank from the Office of the President. In fact, last August 5, the President himself administered the oath of 146 newly appointed CESOs in Malacanang Palace, which also included also in last year, November 2024, during our 50th anniversary, the Executive Secretary, Lucas Bersamin, also administered the oath for 86 newly appointed CESOs. And this event in Malacanang with the President coincided with the awarding of our Presidential Gawad CES for the years 2021, 2022, and 2023. So in terms of the different stages of eligibility process, in the first semester, we have conducted 2 nationwide examinations with total of 458 examinees and average passing rate of 70%. We also conducted 12 sessions of assessment center with 288 assessees at 26.6 passing rate. We have also conducted the performance validation of 125 candidates and conducted panel interviews for the 88 CES candidates who passed the 3 stages.
So, ED Marcy, ibig sabihin, after an average passing percentage of 70% in the first stage, sa kanila, 26% ang pumapasa sa second
Opo.
stage and onwards.
So nasasala
Okay
po.
Nasasala po talaga,
na
no?
host sa
Mahigpit yung
AC.
process.
Opo.
Okay po.
Okay. Because, Madam Chair, also in our on-the-job performance validation, there is also an integrity check. We publish the names of the AC passers in newspaper of nationwide circulation to gather feedback from the public. Before then, they are validated on site by our deputized validators, and then those who pass the interview stage will be subjected to a panel interview. So ganon po ka rigorous yung screening process po na ginagawa po ng CES board. And then for our capacity building, we have conducted 5 flagship training programs. These are training programs for those CES eligibles who are applying for their CES rank. So we have 466 participants. Well, included also here are our CES conclave and our HRM fellowship meetings and learning sessions. We garnered 100% very satisfactory ratings for those training programs. And the CES board also have processed the performance evaluation of 4,000 officials in 2023 and 3,929 officials in the first semester. We also have distributed our public manager issues to the different agencies and stakeholders. We have also reviewed and formulated 3 CES policies in the first semester. I'm happy to note, Chair, that in line with the track or the strategy of the Philippine development of strengthening the CES and promoting merit and fitness, through the study conducted by the Career Executive Service Board, upon the directive of the Office of the President, we studied the implication of the Executive Order 145 Series of 2021, which automatically confer rank to graduates of Master in National Security Administration of the National Defense College. And after that, in July, after submitting our study, which also involves the consultation with various stakeholders and evidence-based or data-driven analysis of the MNSA graduates through those were subjected to the different stages of the CES eligibility process. Well, in July 2024, His Excellency President Ferdinand Marcos issued Executive Order number 63, revoking Executive Order 145 and repealed all orders, rules, and regulations and issuance inconsistent therewith. This is to synchronize the standards and procedures for the conferment of CES rank and CES eligibility.
So ang isang dahilan nito at saka implication ay kahit nakapag-graduate sa NDCP, nakakuha ng master's o PhD doon, para makakuha ng CES rank, kailangan dumaan sa mga proseso ng
Ngayon po,
CESB.
dadaan
Ngayon.
na po sila sa
Ngayon
first
na,
stage.
hindi na
Pare-pareho
automatic.
na po ang
Opo.
mga officials natin to will conduct.
Okay po.
So,
Interesting kasi kauusap lang namin ni Chair Eileen ng CSC na nagwo-workout din ang CSC ng proper arrangements with AFP regarding, tama po ba? Regarding how they would be able to also qualify sa CSC. Tama po ba yung understanding ko, Chair Eileen? And anong may relasyon po ba ito dito sa kauulat lang ni ED Marcy regarding CESB?
On the part of the concept po of, kasi we have been receiving a lot of questions from the members of the AFP wanting to serve, or they are already in the civil service system. However, they do not have the eligibility. So they are asking since they are in government service, what can we do? So Commissioner Ryan Acosta and I, we are touching base now for the possibility of trying to help them how to cross over to civil service eligibility, considering their length of service in the uniformed side po nung sa AFP po.
Salamat po. So, complimentary lang itong kay input ni ED Marcy sa atin from the CESB side since part din ng CSC family. Salamat po.
Madam Chair, may I also inform that just last July, the Philippine Army requested us for a special written examination for their officers, those in the supervisory position, and we conducted it for 77 officers, meaning even the Philippine Army are willing to go through the process of the CES eligibility.
Salamat po. Please proceed, ED.
Okay, proceeding po, we are happy to share with you that the CES board is ISO certified in the fifth cycle, and we were commended for two good practices. And in terms of COA findings and recommendations for 2023, we have 6 commendations from the COA, and 3 were acknowledged by COA as complied and implemented. Incidentally, we are also happy to share with you that for the last 5 years, the Career Executive Service Board has been, the COA rendered unqualified opinion for the financial performance of the CES board for the last 5 years. And then for the last 3 years, the CES board has been selected by the Association of Government Accountants Association of the Philippines through the recommendation of COA as one of the outstanding accounting offices for 3 years, 2021, 2022 to 23. And yesterday, the CES board was awarded in the Hall of Fame category.
Mabuhay. CESB.
Yes. Thank you po, Madam Chair. So going back to our original proposal of Tier 2 proposal of 115.96, let me now share with you the components of the Tier 2 budget proposal, which we are requesting for the Honorable Committee, Chair, and for consideration for restoration. This includes PS of 0.468 or 468,000, and MOE of 20 million and capital outlay of 94. Mainly, the big chunk of this is about our project for the construction of the CESB building, or the new, or the what we call the bagong tahanan ng mga seso. This is in line with the Philippine Development Plan of strengthening the career executive service system. The proposal for 2025 includes the project preparation and pre-implementation activity to bolster the implementation readiness of this project, which consists of establishment of a project management unit consisting of architect, engineer, and procurement specialist and project manager, and also the conduct of detailed architectural and engineering design and procurement. Also, we hope that with this, we will be able to firm up the costing and the program of works for the proposed building, which will be located in the UP Diliman campus along Commonwealth and the University Avenue Triangle beside the GPPB and the proposed PIDS building. So included in the Tier 2 proposal, if the committee will allow, is an initial mobilization of 90 million for the 3-year, multi-year contracting obligation authority that we hope that we will be able to uh, uh, propose here on to the DBM and to the Honorable Committee. Apart from this project, we also propose for the procurement of 3 risograph machines for production of our test materials because, Madam Chair, our risograph is quite old and all of our materials, we produce it in-house. And then a transportation equipment outlay or 1-unit coaster, which we use normally to our learning activities for our flagship learning program for our CESOs or eligibles who are aspiring to become CESOs. Part of that learning program is an immersion activity to the far-flung, poorest rural areas where they are exposed to the realities on the ground. They live with the foster families for 5 days, and then also exposure to good practice in government agencies or local governments in the various parts of our country. So normally now, because we do not have a bus, we borrow from our from DPWH and DNR and other agency and DDB and CSC. But we hope that if we have a coaster, we will be able to conduct more this kind of exposure and immersion activities for our CESOs. And then also the payment of overtime services and drivers. So that's the entire Tier 2 for 2025. Implementation of strengthening the CES system by continuously upgrading the programs and offerings of the CES board. The rationale for this project of constructing this building, it emphasizes the need for a robust and effective career executive service as a key driver of government performance by strengthening the CES system through merit-based practices and continuous program enhancement and service delivery. The project aims to cultivate competencies and adaptability of career officials, ensuring they are well prepared to meet evolving public administration demands. To advance human capital development, the CES process will hasten and enhance the quality of senior public officials and their successors. This initiative supports the PDP's broader strategy of improving governance by reinforcing the foundation of high-performing civil service, which is crucial for the realization of national development goals. To achieve the PDP goals and objectives, the project will address current challenges faced by the CES board by improving service delivery and responsiveness to its clients and stakeholders. The Envision project will serve as a centralized hub for career executive screening and development, functioning as a one-stop shop for career progression of civil servants from the second level, aiming or aspiring to reach the third level executive managerial positions. The project is strategically located in a more accessible area for our clients to foster synergy and coordination with agencies and academic institutions because the project site is just approximate or nasa likod lang po ng supposed building of the CES board is the UP National College of Public Administration, the Government Procurement Policy Board, and the Philippine Institute for Development Studies. This will improve and expand the capacity and capability of the Career Executive Service Board and its secretariat in serving the growing demands for client services. Since its establishment in 1973 to the present, the CESB scope has expanded from serving only 14, now 58 government departments, attached agencies, and executive offices. According to the Civil Service Commission's inventory of government human resources as of June 30, 2023, there are 125,000 civil servants in supervisory and executive managerial positions from salary grade 22 to 29, including current and potential CES entrants. The existing CESB office is an outdated three-story residential building repurposed as an office, which is located in Isidora Hills Subdivision, Quezon City, a residential subdivision. It presents numerous limitations. It is situated in a flood-prone residential area with restricted accessibility, inadequate space for assessment, examinations, training and conferences, and inadequate facilities for senior citizens and persons with disabilities. The current setup has insufficient storage for its records, ICT equipment. It has no parking space for its clients who belong to the upper echelons of the bureaucracy. Our partners and officials and suffers from limited internet bandwidth because of its residential category. Additionally, the office space is insufficient to accommodate the necessary increase in plantilla positions for the CESB Secretariat, which is essential for the growing demands of client servicing and support. We take this opportunity because the Memorandum of Understanding between UP and the Career Executive Service Board for the allocation of 4,000 square meters of land, inclusive of the 100-250 square meter footprint for the CESB building, within the UP Diliman campus was signed in November 2023 during the 50th anniversary of the CES board. Another opportunity is presented with the synergy and collaboration between the academe and national government in promoting public sector excellence. The benefits of the project includes the savings in lease of venue for CESB training programs, corporate events, examination, and storage room, which annually we spend 22 million. If you multiply by 25 years, that would approximate the cost of constructing a new building. Increase in the frequency of conduct of examinations and assessments, thereby reducing the queuing for the four-stage CES eligibility process. It will also improve the efficiency, effectiveness, and quality of CESB programs and services to its clients and engagement of partners and stakeholders. As envisioned in the 50th anniversary milestone of the board, a stronger career executive service is envisioned 50 years and beyond. Originally conceived by the late President Ferdinand Marcos Sr., the CES was designed to ensure a pool of well-selected, development-oriented career administrators. This project will honor his legacy by establishing a National Center for Career Executive Service with state-of-the-art facilities for merit-based selection, professional development, and career progression for public servants. The CESB aims to complete this project within the term of Ferdinand Marcos Jr., ideally within 3 years. This aligns with the President's earlier commitment to continuous professional development of career officials when he addressed the approximately 1,000 CESOs and CESAs during the 49th CES anniversary held in PICC at the beginning of his administration. Thank you, Madam Chair, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ED Marcy. Would the good ED submit to the committee an updated career executive service occupancy set of figures? Kasi po yung huling data sinabmit po noong Oktubre nakaraang taong 2023 state the following: number of CES positions 2,862, CESO and eligibles occupying these positions 983, non-CESOs occupying CES positions 1,227, and vacant CES positions 652. Pending yung submission ng updated figures, may nagbago po ba dito? Na-fill up po ba yung vacancies? At saka, tawag pansin kahit sa mata lang, bakit po mas maraming non-CES?
First question, Madam Chair, the figure that you presented was in 2023. Let me just read the occupancy figures as of June 30, 2024, based on the partial submission of our national agencies of their CES occupancy reports. Some of them has yet to submit. And as of June 30, we have 2,163 occupied CES positions, with CESOs 1,000, CESOs and eligibles around 1,132 at 52% CES occupancy rate. And then non-CESOs and CES eligibles, 1,031 absolute figures at 47.67%. Madam Chair. Why? Bali, ma'am, medyo may magandang progression na po tayo because there has been a fast tracking of the processing of CESOs in the Office of the President. Thanks to the Office of the President and the Presidential Management staff for facilitating. So from previous years, 2 years ago, from 2022, at 44%, we were able to raise it to the average level of 50%, which is within the target of the Philippine Development Plan, Madam Chair.
So, I presume pareho pa rin yung number of CES positions as in 2023 na 2,862 or thereabouts. And sabi nyo nga nagkaroon na ng progression through fast tracking na yung dating CESOs and CES eligibles occupying these positions na itaas na mula 983 nakaraang taon sa 1,132 this year. So yung non-CESOs occupying CES positions ay bumaba na from last year's 1,227 to this year's 1,031. But still nga po, medyo malapit po, and I'm sure balak ng CESB na paramihin pa yung CESOs at CES na nag-ookupa sa mga posisyong ito, mabawasan yung non-CESOs. Tama po ba?
Madam Chair, incidentally, actually we're doing a more comprehensive inventory of the CES positions in cooperation with the DBM and also the HR managers of the various agencies. We are now trying to match the figures of the DBM with our figures in our database, and hopefully in the next few months we will be able to come out with a more firmed up figure with regard to the CES occupancy rate. So that's our good housekeeping job that we're undertaking right now.
Salamat, ED Marcy. Chief Belinda, gusto niyo po bang dagdagan yon? Dahil sabi nga ni ED Marcy, may ongoing matching sila ang CESB sa figures ng DBM.
No additional on that portion, Madam Chair, but in terms of the funding sources, I believe we have already coordinated with the CES board on the program against the MPBF also. Yes.
So yes, ED Marcy, apo.
Madam Chair, thank you for reminding us, Chief Belinda. This is in line with our proposal to the DBM and also to the Honorable Committee for the approval of a special provision in the upcoming GAA for the Miscellaneous Personal Benefit Fund to support the new policy of the board on the Government Executive Resource Pool program. That is to provide the opera cover for the revised policy, which will address many issues on the tenure and the continuity of the services of our CESOs, and also, because previously we do not have that allocation in our budget. Now, in consultation with the DBM, we were advised to have this special provision to allow for some flexibility as the need arises. The special provision that we propose, Career Executive Service Board, under the Miscellaneous Personal Benefits Fund, Government Executive Resource Pool Program or Fund, the amount of 5 million appropriated therein shall be used to cover basic salary, para bonus, cash gifts, uniform allowance, productivity enhancement, incentive, and other allowable benefits of career executive service officers placed in the Government Executive Resource Pool Program. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, ED Marcy. So, of course, iba pa po itong specific subject ng draft special provision, pero the subcommittee will look very favorably on proposing this at the proper time sa budget process namin. So, just for the record lang ulit, yung concern at yung support ng subcommittee na mas maparami pa yung mga CESOs at eligibles occupying the CES positions and occupying the vacant CES positions. Siguro kaugnay nun at in a way kaugnay din nitong proposed special provision natin sa MPBF at hindi sa posisyon. So anong nangyayari kapag ang isang officer ay napalitan ng appointing authority, not for cause po? So pwede nyo bang i-walk through kami, ED, sa process na yan?
Lately, yung mga recent discussions po of the board in the enhancement of the current JER policy, there is a window po na pinoprovide in the proposal that it will cover po sana yung mga CESOs who are replaced in their positions so that pwedeng may sasalo sa kanila, it is the Career Executive Service Board, while they are being assisted in looking for their executive placement in other agencies, to find recipient agencies who would be willing to give them assignment. This is meant to operationalize the provision in the PD1 on mobility principle for our career executive service officers. Yes, ma'am, that's it.
Salamat, ED Marcy. So, just for the record din lang, para rin kung itanong ng mga colleagues ko dito sa Senate, ano yung mga steps na dinadaanan ng CESB para sa CESO na or CESE na replace not for cause dahil nga may security of tenure sila sa rank nila bagamat hindi sa posisyon. So paano po yung paghahanap ng replacement appointment sa kanila?
Yung paghahanap po ng replacement appointments or where they can be reassigned. We have po yung plantilla management where we monitor po yung mga vacant positions. So once a assessor says a request for executive placement or some CESOs who have been placed in the JERP, we actively seek from our inventory possible positions where they can be assigned. So we provide endorsement to the head of agency for this official for consideration in vacant executive positions in their agency po. So we provide them the profile, the credentials of the official so that they may be considered in their selection process. Madam.
Salamat, ED. So may some kind of matching din na nangyayari kahit sa loob ng ating civil service. Okay, salamat po. Comsec, meron po ba tayong mga colleagues na parating pa?
None for now, Madam Chair.
Isang huling follow-up, ED, bago natin i-deem submitted dito. So, dito pa rin sa replacement process, kung walang makitang assignment, ano pong mangyayari sa official? At for the record, ganong katagal pwedeng manatili yung officer na yun sa pool?
Yung current policy nga po sa ngayon, which is Resolution 1362, it is within 6 months. So yung mga ano po ng board is to address this policy gap so that the CESOs are provided assistance dito sa kanilang situation. So yun po, hopefully that would be finalized po.
And hindi mananatiling 6 months lang, tama po ba? Ano yung planong time frame para sa kabatiran ng buong komite?
Actually, the board is eyeing for at least a year to give the CESO enough time and the CES board also to match them in another assignment po within the executive. Thank you po.
Thank you, ED. Yeah, I think that would be reasonable. And last, beyond that, beyond the 1 year, ano pong mangyayari sa official na yon?
Po, beyond 1 year, so yun nga po yung pinaka-window para makahanap po tayo. I think that is enough naman po. The board thinks that it is enough naman po to find a placement for the CESO. So after the year, kasi po, ang consideration din po is the availability of funding for the salary of the official. So that's why we deem it to balance din po yung budgetary consideration plus the period within which the CESO will be able to find placement in the executive branch or in other agencies. That would be the time frame that is foreseen to be, well, sufficient.
Salamat, ED. I agree. So, Comsec, wala na po tayong inaasahang hahabol pa ng mga
Wala na
colleagues
po,
ko?
Madam Chair.
So, without prejudice po sa pagtatanong ng mga colleagues ko sa plenary deliberations, the budget of the Career Executive Service Board is deemed submitted. Mabuhay po. This
Thank you,
part
Madam
of the
Chair.
hearing, this hearing is suspended. Salamat.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you po.
Magandang umaga po to our ARTA family, headed by Director General Ernesto V. Perez and the rest of the team. Salamat sa pagdalo sa budget hearing na ito para sa inyong budget para sa taong 2025. We commend ARTA's invaluable efforts of ensuring and implementing measures towards ease of doing business. An effective ARTA guarantees that there is effective and efficient government service delivery across the bureaucracy, as mandated by the law that created ARTA, RA 11032, or the Ease of Doing Business and Efficient Government Service Delivery Act of 2018. We are here to listen to the accomplishments of the agency over the last year, and the committee is also eager to hear the Director General's plans for the agency in the coming year. But before that, may I request the COMSEC to recognize all of our resource persons here this morning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We were delighted to acknowledge our guests for today's budget briefing for ARTA. We have Secretary Attorney Ernesto Perez, Sir, Maria Socorro Jocelyn Abot, Undersecretary Genesis Abot, Undersecretary Rico Judge Janvier Echeverry, Undersecretary Gerald Divina Gracia, Attorney Zeni Ferolino Enad, Attorney Leonardo Tapia, Leia Grace Salcedo, Grace Fernandez, Marbida, Gilbert Castro, Zin Danieli Cusi, Leroy John Flores. From the DBM, we have Mariglo Mora, and from COA, for ARTA, we have Emeline Barigues. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, COMSEC. May mga colleagues ba ako na nag-confirm para dito?
As of now, ma'am, wala pa po.
Wala ba? All right. Salamat, COMSEC. So with that, Sec Perez, you may begin your presentation.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Senator Risa Antiveros, Chairperson of the Subcommittee H. Nais ko po magpasalamat on behalf of the Anti-RETIP Authority for the continued support to the Anti-RETIP Authority, and we're happy to share with you ARTA's accomplishments for the past years as well as the current year, and also to present our budget accomplishments and our wish list for additional budget in order to support our continued operations. We're happy to inform the good senator that the Anti-Red Tape Authority is well within its 6-year roadmap, where for the past 5 years we have devoted this to for the development of the programs and initiatives in line with the ease of doing business law, which the Anti-Red Tape Authority is tasked to implement. Since 2018, ARTA has been in the forming stage with a focus on establishing the foundational structures and resources necessary for the implementation of ease of doing business. So for this year, 2024, our focus is on the shift towards addressing resistance and challenges from agencies and stakeholders. We are now actually in the implementation of those major programs and initiatives that we have developed in the past 5 years. The task at this point will really be to manage conflicts, facilitate discussions, and advocate for necessary changes. From 2025 to 2027, ARTA hopes for improved cooperation and alignment as issues across agencies are resolved. And by 2027 to 2028, we are confident that the ease of doing business initiatives will be fully operational. Some of the highlights of our accomplishments, of course, we start with the most successful one in terms of the passage of the President's Executive Order number 32, also known as the Streamlining the Permitting Process for the Construction of Telecommunications and Internet Infrastructure, signed by the President. Through this executive order, we have made the application and issuance of permits for construction of telecommunications and Internet infrastructure easier and faster, resulting in an increase of permits by more than 26,000 by 1-year implementation alone of that joint memorandum circular, which preceded the Executive Order 32. Both the other successful program is the Philippine Business Regulations Information System and the Anti-Red Tape Electronic Management Information System. Artemis is a live database for mapping of government services indicated in the Citizens Charter, while PBRIS is an on-demand online platform for all proposed and existing regulations. We have started training priority agencies in terms of PBRIS and Artemis. For our major accomplishments for 2023, as reported in our Budget Accountability Report, or BAR number 1, as of 31 December 2023, ARTA has exhibited a very satisfactory performance based on the achievement and exceedance of all its performance targets, which reflects the authority's commitment to the performance of its mandate. As of 2023, ARTA is proud to have a cumulative 98.75% closure rate for complaints. Of the 16,099 complaints received as of December 31, 2023, 15,898 of these were either resolved or referred to other government agencies. ARTA also had 4 convictions for violating the ease of doing business law. ARTA also serves...
Of the 200 or so na natitira pang complaints, are there any of those na ifa-follow up ng mga colleagues ko at makapagbibigay po kayo ng status report sa mga yon?
Yes, Madam Senator Will. Thank
All
you.
right, salamat ED. Please proceed.
ARTA also serves as the Vice Chair of the Ease of Doing Business Anti-Red Tape Advisory Council, chaired by the DTI Secretary. The Council serves as a venue for members from the public and private sectors to exchange work and ideas together in finding methods to improve the country's ease of doing business. The Council's interagency and public-private collaborations are crucial to improving the business climate in the Philippines, as the Council's proposal will help boost the country to become an investment destination of choice for businesses and investors. In ensuring compliance with government agencies, ARTA, also led by the Compliance Monitoring and Evaluation Office, regularly conducts on-site inspections. The agencies are evaluated with the respective handbooks, information billboards, and online copy of them. During on-site inspections, the evaluator checks for the completeness of their competence, specifically on the postings of the respective citizen charter for the benefit of the public. Building up from this success, the Report Card Survey 2.0 kicked off its first phase implementation in November 2023. The event or the activity discussed an overview of the implementation, 2022 milestones, and the inaugural timeline until March 2024. Following the first phase of its implementation, the Report Card Survey Award Ceremony will be conducted at the end of this month, covering 860 agencies nationwide. As to the electronic business one-stop shop, ARTA continues...
Edie, if we could go back to the previous slide,
Yes,
dun sa EOD, yung Citizens Charter. Are any of these yung natitirang mga 500 or so agencies or LGUs nasa mga rehiyon kung saan galing yung mga colleagues ko sa Senate na baka in turn naman pwede nating hingiin yung tulong nila na i-encourage yung hindi pa nag-submit ng Citizens Charter, mag-submit sa ARTA? Maybe you can let us know po leading to the plenary. Salamat, Edie. Sige, please proceed po, the second slide after this.
ARTA accomplishments. Following the mandate under Republic Act 11032, ARTA embraces a crucial transformation in 2023, actively participating in whole-of-government reengineering. This initiative tackled bureaucratic hurdles heads-on, with agencies mandated to evaluate, improve, and even overhaul the processes to expedite service delivery and eliminate red tape. The whole-of-government reengineering fosters interagency collaboration, allowing harmonization of permitting and licensing requirements, ultimately easing the burden on citizens. In 2023, ARTA has built, fostered, and strengthened relationships with various embassies and members of the diplomatic corps, as well as chambers of commerce, both local and foreign. This led to agreements of mutual support between these countries and the Philippines, covering different priority sectors. For instance, with the New Zealand ambassador, His Excellency Peter Kell, the previous ambassador, we signed a memorandum of arrangement last March 6, 2023. With the European ambassador, we had a visit on June 1, 2023, and the rest.
Edie, I noticed na represented naman yung Asia dito sa mga foreign ties na napalakas na ng ARTA. Pero wala pa yata from Africa and Latin America. Kasi itong tatlo, mga kasama natin sa, kumbaga, Global South, dati tinatawag developing world. May mga binubuo rin ba with those two other continents or regions?
Yes, Madam Senator, we are actually scheduling a courtesy visit or collaboration with the South African countries as well as with the Middle East countries, Madam Senator.
Very good to hear po. Yeah, speaking of the Middle East, I just came from a working visit sa Doha, sa Qatar, and mostly ang subject nung bisitang yon ay yung major overhaul nila sa labor laws nila to include migrant workers, so to include Filipino migrant workers, even our Filipino domestic workers. Sa Latin America po, meron din kayong sineschedule? Okay po. I encourage you to do that para mabuo na ng ARTA yung mundo. Salamat. Please proceed.
ARTA has always put on value the feedback of stakeholders to continuously improve the way it delivers its services. In conducting activities aimed at increasing the engagement of its clients, ARTA bank on the principles of its CSM tool to accurately measure the pulse of its stakeholders. ARTA exceeded the annual target of 85%, accomplishing 91.11% in stakeholder engagement rating for 2023. In terms of the agency's financial performance for the last fiscal year, the budget utilization rate is at 83% and a disbursement rate of 85%, composed of both current and continuing appropriations. The agency's budget utilization rate can be attributed to the following circumstances, some of which are really beyond the authority's control, and partly due to continuous implementation of savings-generating mechanisms to ensure prudent fiscal management. So one, lack of eligible suppliers, bidders for procurement projects. Two, taking advantage of digitalized platforms. Three, lack of manpower. Four, unavailability of items in DBM procurement service. And five, delayed approval of the ISSP. And six, capitalizing on public-private partnership. Moving forward, the agency also institutionalized a budget utilization monitoring mechanism by adopting DBM Circular Number 2015-8, thus the issuance of Department Order 2024-066, or the creation and composition of the Anti-Red Tape Authority Full-Time Delivery Unit to closely monitor the status of implementation of plans, programs, and initiatives of the agency with respect to the financial and physical targets for fiscal year per the General Appropriations Act.
ED, at this point, would the DBM resource person like to add anything to the ED's presentation at this point? Sino pong DBM dito? Mr. Lomora? Sir, meron po ba kayong gustong idagdag at this point sa presentation ng ED? Mr. Mora pala. Andito ba sila? Ms. Mora, sorry. Meron po ba kayong gustong idagdag dito?
Hello. Hello po, ma'am. Yes, we would like po to confirm lang po the obligation BUR of ARTA for FY 2023, which is 86% po, ma'am.
Okay. Salamat po, Ms. Mora. Okay. ED, please proceed.
Fiscal year 2024 first semester accomplishments, ARTA remains steadfast in achieving its performance targets, ensuring continued success and positive impact in its operations and initiatives. As of 30 June 2024, ARTA remains on track as it has exceeded all its performance targets. As of 2024, ARTA currently has a 98.27% cumulative closure rate for complaints. Of the 23,326 complaints received as of 4 October 2024, 22,971 of these were either resolved or referred to other government offices. 450 cases are still active. Next slide. Under its enforcement mandate, ARTA also conducted several entrapment operations regarding violation of Section 21H of the Ease of Doing Business Law on fixing, offering speedy completion of transactions for pecuniary gain or any other advantage or consideration. In this regard, we conducted entrapment operations in several LTO offices regarding the fixing activities in relation to the issuance of driver's license. The entrapment operations resulted in the filing of criminal cases in courts. ARTA secured convictions of 2 LTO employees who suffered a penalty of dismissal from the service, perpetual disqualification from holding public office, and forfeiture of retirement benefits and imprisonment of 1 to 6 years with the corresponding fine. In addition, we are also able to secure a conviction of 5 fixers who work in connivance with employees of the LTO in fixing services. As of this writing, ARTA has filed a total of 57 cases before the Office of the Ombudsman, Civil Service Commission, courts, and other quasi-judicial agencies, majority of which are still pending. Moving on to on the electronic complaints management system, this ECMS is another ARTA initiative that will help improve the gathering of feedback from the public towards improving overall government service delivery. Beta testing is now scheduled by December of this year, with full implementation targeted by 2025. This will be developed by ARTA's in-house team composed of senior and junior developers and administrative staff. We will also be developing an ease of doing business portal that will allow access to the public so that it will be easier for them to raise whatever concerns, challenges, or problems they have, and for ARTA to immediately address the same. Also, we started the year 2024 with the hosting of the first ever economic briefing by the newly appointed Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, Secretary Frederick Go, who bared his plans and strategies to the business sector and other government agencies. This was conducted on 24 January 2024 with a theme from red tape to red carpet, charting progress through strategic investment and boosting economic opportunities. Then, with the signing of the Memorandum of Agreement between ARTA and the Buklod Bayani Coalition, the Swiss Chamber of Commerce and the European Chamber of Commerce, the British Business Council, the Swiss Chamber of Commerce, and the European Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, this Memorandum of Agreements will help support ARTA's implementation of the Ease of Doing Business law, as well as all its related programs and projects and initiatives to improve bureaucratic efficiency. In turn, ARTA also extended technical and other forms of assistance to these organizations and their programs, projects, and activities. Meanwhile, the Memorandum of Arrangement between the ARTA and the New Zealand government empowers both agencies to identify scope and could develop initiatives and capacity building, innovation in service design and delivery, technology transfer related to e-governance and related management. Incidentally, next week we will be starting these workshops with the technical assistance of the New Zealand government. They will be sending experts, and actually they have arrived in the country already, and tomorrow we'll have a dry run. And for next week, we will have an extensive workshops on 3 priority sectors: on responsible mining, energy, as well as on agriculture. The ultimate objective of these workshops will be to get the commitment of all the agencies involved in this priority sector to sign a commitment and eventually a joint memorandum circular that will put up a one-stop shop for these priority sectors. We are also starting with our initiative on water, coming from a training that was hosted by the Israel government. In fact, last 2 weeks, they completed the 5-day workshop with 4 staff from the Anti-Red Tape Authority, led by its Undersecretary for Operations and 3 other staff members, together with 7 other members from other agencies. They completed the training despite the hostilities going on. And as a result of the training, we will start this November a workshop on water involving all the agencies involved and again with the ultimate objective of having a one-stop shop for the water sector.
Sa Israel po ginawa yung
Yes,
workshop?
madam.
Ah, okay.
Sa Haifa po, in the middle
Haifa.
of, and
Kasama po
Mr.
si
Gerald was
Yusef.
head of the
Wow.
delegation.
Eh, mas conducive kung mag-ceasefire na kasi sila eh.
Sana.
Anyway, please proceed, Edie.
On the telco workshop, ARTA, in partnership with the Manila Electric Company, highlighted the strategic energization of towers at the third telco workshop for telco towers energization on March 19, 2024 at the Meralco Operating Center. This initiative concurred by national government agencies, mobile network operators, and independent tower companies to further underpin their collaboration with Executive Order 32. Now, on addressing the Matnog Port congestion, ARTA signed a joint memorandum circular on the implementation of measures to address the congestion in and around the vicinity of the Port of Matnog on May 16, 2024 at the Sorsogon Provincial Capital. This JMC addresses red tape-related concerns in the Port of Matnog and promote efficient government service delivery by addressing congestion in the queuing, marshalling, and embarkation of both passengers and goods. As of this time, all the agencies except the Secretary of Transportation have already signed the joint memorandum circular, and within the year, we hope to draft the implementing guidelines that will finally address the port congestion in Matnog.
Edie, hindi po kasama ang DA dito sa joint memorandum circular na to?
Department of
Agriculture.
No.
Sayang, kasi may program kaming naririnig kay Sec Chulaurel na gusto nilang i-develop yung cold chain facilities sa mga ports
Okay.
for agricultural and fisheries products. Sayang, hindi sila kasama dito.
But we will invite them, Madam Senator, so that we can have whole of government approach or even a whole of nation approach.
Thank you, Edie. Please proceed.
Now, on the Pinas Bilis program of ARTA, ARTA held a Bagong Pilipinas Town Hall meeting at Lapu-Lapu City on June 21, 2024, where Lapu-Lapu received the first Pinas Bilis EBOS package from Aboitiz as a result of our Memorandum of Agreement with the Aboitiz Group. This Pinas Bilis project is a joint effort of ARTA, Aboitiz Equity Ventures, and Aboitiz Foundation, equipping local government units like Lapu-Lapu City with the tools and training needed to improve service delivery. As the first beneficiary, Lapu-Lapu City received 10 laptops and 10 printers and scanners to aid in streamlining and automating process. This is on top of the initiative by ARTA together with the DICT, DILG in really pushing for the full implementation of the requirement of ease of doing business law for all local government units to set up and operationalize an electronic business one-stop shop where the business permitting process should be done online end-to-end, and the permit can be issued in a matter of minutes. On the Philippine Competitiveness Dashboard, ARTA partnered with the Asian Institute of Management, Rizalino S. Navarro Policy Center, and Livable Cities Philippines, led by Bill Luz, to develop a Philippine Global Competitiveness Report Card launched on ARTA's 6th anniversary last May 24, 2024. This contains 20 global indices categorized into 7 key categories to cover critical aspects that will contribute to a comprehensive analysis and report. And these are general, digital, education, talent and innovation, energy and environment, governance, health and nutrition, and number 7, trade. This collaboration examines industry strengths, economic trends, and areas for improvement for the second phase of implementation. This report can really serve as a reference in strategic planning, policy formulation, and implementation of initiatives in both public and private sectors. Actually, we thought of this initiative because of our poor competitiveness ranking. In the recently issued, while we have seen improvement, there is so much need for further improvement, and the best way to have that much desired improvement in our competitiveness ranking is to monitor and consolidate all those competitiveness rankings being done by various government organizations such as the World Bank, United Nations, the Portulan Institute, the World Intellectual Property Organization, the International Institute of Management Development, and the International Institute of Management Development. We have noticed that in this competitiveness rankings, the problem that was raised to us is that whenever data are being requested, particularly by the Asian Institute of Management, there is that hesitation on the part of government agencies, if not even failure to respond to submit updated data. So with this initiative, with ARTA at the forefront of this, with our mandate to interconnect government agencies with a compelling power, we can really direct government agencies to respond to surveys with more accurate and updated data that will hopefully improve our ranking by the next result.
At salamat, ED, ginamit nyo yung mungkahi ko na iayusin yung top third sa top at yung bottom third sa third.
Oh, yes.
So, nakikinig tayo sa isa't isa.
Salamat.
Okay, please proceed, ED.
Thank you po. Wait. Saan yan? Wala, pindot ako eh. 40. Be ready. All right. On the... Saan na siya? 40 ba? Electronic. Wala. Yeah. Ayan. Okay. On the Business Be Ready report, a World Bank major initiative or flagship report that evaluates the businesses and investment climate worldwide. This actually replaces the annual doing business report that the World Bank used to conduct until its suspension in September 2021. Now, the Philippines was one of the 50 economies that was pilot tested by the World Bank, and last October 3, the World Bank released its result. While we belong to the top 40%, the World Bank report noted that we are very strong in terms of regulatory framework, but weak or needs more improvement in terms of public services and operational efficiency. In other words, there is really much needed improvement for the implementation of the regulatory framework or the laws and regulations involved. So ARTA, being designated by the Office of the President recently as the focal point, we plan to create technical working groups that will focus on business entry and business location, because in the ranking we rank low. We will also be creating a technical working group on utility services, labor, financial services, international trade and taxation, and on closing a business or business insolvency. Now, the 2024 report introduces a new analytical framework that benchmarks economies based on the three pillars: regulatory framework, public services, and operational efficiency. The analysis centers on 10 topics essential for private sector development that corresponds to various stages of the life cycle of a firm. The report also offers insights into the three cross-cutting themes that are relevant for modern economies. And these are digital adoption, environmental sustainability, and gender. Be Ready draws on a robust data collection process that includes specially tailored expert questionnaires and firm level surveys. The 2024 report, which covers 50 economies, serves as the first in a series that will expand in geographical coverage and refine its methodology over time, supporting reform advocacy, policy guidance, and further analysis and research. And this is probably where ARTA will need much additional budget support in order to improve our ranking from the top 40%, hopefully, to the top 20%.
Saka ED,
Yes.
this is very interesting. First time ko yata narinig kasama sa 10 topic areas sa ganitong klasing report, isinama yung, you mentioned labor, environmental sustainability, gender. So kahit and syempre may built-in bias dahil it's a World Bank report, but still para sa akin significant binanggit yung tatlong topic areas na yon. Initially, ano yung appreciation ng ARTA about those 3 topic areas sa paghahandaan yung gamitin ng bansa natin ang report na to?
We welcome this development. And in fact, Madam Senator, we will be creating technical working groups composed of all the agencies involved in this particular sector on labor and gender, Madam Senator.
At saka yung envy sustainability.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, maraming salamat po. Please proceed.
Thank you. Now, continuing, of course, we welcome the being ranked in the top 40% of the 50 economies. Just to proceed, no, the World Bank identifies a country in the second quintile, meaning that a group of economies that exhibit strong performance but also show potential for environment. This ranking underscores the country's progress in fostering a more conducive business environment, with the Philippines securing 16th place in the regulatory framework pillar, reflecting the administration's success in establishing a clear and effective rules and regulations that support business operations from startup to closure. In 2024, ARTA started its Bagong Pilipinas town hall meetings to bring its initiatives and programs closer to the smallest unit of government, the barangays. By end of 2024, ARTA, with the help of its regional field offices, has already conducted 14 town hall meetings across Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. On electronic business one-stop shop, through continuous inspection and provision of assistance to local government units in establishing a fully digitalized and streamlined electronic business one-stop shop, ARTA has brought a total of fully compliant LGUs to 39 as of June 2024, but as of October 4, 2024, 97 LGUs are already fully compliant with EBOS, 66 of which have already received their seals, plaques, and certificates of EBOS commendation. Our target is to have at least 100 local government units to be recognized this year. And for next year, we hope to have a greater number because we have sent notices to explain to those local government units that have failed to comply with this requirement of the law, despite the inspections conducted by our regional field offices and reminder for them to submit their action plan. So we are sending these notices to explain in stages. We started with the LGUs that have been inspected and verified to be non-compliant. And then we have sent already more than 216 notices to explain. And the next will be those LGUs that have actually no compliances at all, and even not subject to inspection, but have been reported to be non-compliant with this requirement. So far, we have received positive feedbacks because LGUs have responded and committed that they will comply with this requirement, Madam Senator.
ED, ito itatanong ko sana at the end of your presentation. pero dahil pinag-uusapan na rin naman natin yung EBOS, so EBOS compliant LGUs as of 4th October this year, gaya ng sinabi nyo nga stand at 97. So ano yung realistic target natin nung bilang ng mga LGUs na gustong abutin ng ARTA? Sabi nyo by next year 100. Maybe by end of this administration, considering connectivity, ano sana yung grand total na maabot ng ARTA?
All should be compliant, Madam Senator.
Salamat, Edie. And then, ano yung pinaka-common na paliwanag na binibigay ng mga LGUs? Bakit di sila makakomply?
Connectivity, Madam Senator. But our response to that is LGUs that are classified as 6th, 5th, or even 4th-class municipalities have been compliant. So this is not actually a good excuse for those LGUs.
Ang ganda nun. Tama po. It's not naman a shaming tactic, pero maganda yun eh. If the 1st to 3rd class municipalities see what the 4th to 6th have been able to do in spite of connectivity problems. So nga naman, how could they do less? And only because you mentioned it, kamakailan lang na pag-usapan dito sa Senate, wala na palang 6th class municipality na categorization. Kasi parang napag-alaman ng aming Senate Committee on Local Governments under Sen JV na, Chair JV na, parang isa na lang, tama ba? Isa na lang yung municipality na nasa 6th class pa. So ginawa na lang lahat ng pinaka nasa lower level of evolution as 5th class municipality. So ano lang, hindi naman trivia but ma-share lang mula sa aming plenary deliberations. Please proceed, Edie.
Thank you, Madam Senator. Now, on ARTA's regional field offices. The first photo shows the Department of the Interior and Local Government Cordillera Region in partnership with the Department of Information and Communications Technology and ARTA and the Bureau of Local Government Development organized the island-wide Electronic Local Government Unit Caravan for the Luzon Cluster on June 5, 2024 at the Baguio Convention Center. The second photo shows ARTA's Central Luzon Regional Office hosted the first ever Barangay Ease of Doing Business Orientation and Town Hall Meeting in the Luzon region on 18 March 2024. The event was attended by 35 barangay chairpersons from the city of San Fernando in Pampanga, symbolizing a collective commitment to advancing business-friendly practices at the grassroots level. Trivia lang, Madam Senator, the city of San Fernando, yung mga mayor, barangays do not belong to the same political party. But with this town hall meeting hosted by ARTA and with the support of the DILG provincial office, we were able to gather all these officials on the same stage. And they were civil with one another.
Wow, mabuhay kayo. Naisip ko tuloy, baka pwede niyong suportahan ng COMELEC sa parating na eleksyon, kampanya at eleksyon. And also naalala ko rin, sa balita sinabi ni Chief Minister Iqbal sa BARM na meron siyang very strong assertion na we will not use our arms to terrorize the voter. So ang ganda, mukhang natatanim na sa isip ng iba't ibang mga grupo, pati yung regional government na yon, ano yung mga pacts for peaceful elections na pwede nilang buuin. Naalala ko lang dahil sa importanteng trivia na nabanggit.
In fact, Madam Senator, about 2 months, we signed a memorandum of agreement with the BARM, Ministry of Interior and Local Government, because they have sought our assistance for us to conduct also trainings on regulatory impact assessment, as well as to share with them some of our programs and initiatives on improving the ease of doing business in the respective areas. On October 21, we will be signing another memorandum of agreement, this time with their Board of Investments, Madam Senator. And hopefully we can have our visit with the Chief Minister in November.
Galing. Good luck for that,
Thank
for
you.
all of those po.
Thank you.
Please proceed.
The third photo also shows the ARTA Southern Luzon inspected 53 government agencies and local government units on their EODB compliance. It ensured that all of them submitted their corresponding action plans based on ARTA Southern Luzon's findings and recommendations. For the Visayas regional field offices, the first photo shows the Tacloban Roadshow, the first ever Bagong Pilipinas Town Hall meeting hosted by ARTA on March 14, 2024 at the Summit Hotel in Tacloban City. This event brought together local government units, national government agencies, and barangay captains who were able to expound their knowledge on ARTA and Republic Act 11032. The second photo also shows the local government of Himamaylan City was commended on 25 June 2024 for being the first local government unit in Western Visayas to achieve full compliance with the Electronic Business One-Stop Shop. The IBO's commendation for Pabia Iloilo followed the day after, or on June 26. For the Mindanao regional field offices, first photo shows on April 4 to 5, ARTA visited the municipalities of Manolo Fortis, Bukidnon, Hasaan, Misamis Oriental, and Ginsiliban, Camiguin. On May 21 to 22, I also visited Malaybalay City, Bukidnon, Tagaluan, Misamis Oriental, and El Salvador City, Misamis Oriental. We personally awarded the ARTA certificates of commendation to the said LGUs for complying with the Electronic Business One-Stop Shop requirement as per ARTA DILG DTI DICT Joint Memorandum Circular. Second photo also shows that ARTA was joined by Senator Manny Pacquiao during the General Santos Bagong Pilipinas Town Hall meeting on May 15, 2024. On the same event, Jensen also received their certificate of commendation for having a fully streamlined and digitalized electronic business one-stop shop. For our 2024 financial performance, ARTA's budget utilization rate for the current fiscal year is at 47%, while the disbursement rate is at 72%. ARTA is closely monitoring its big-ticket items for implementation to ensure the utilization of its remaining funds. For our 2020 to 2025 appropriations, we're happy to show the increasing trend of the NEP level budget, which undoubtedly shows a positive sign of the government's commitment to cutting bureaucratic red tape. However, considering the growing demand for ARTA services and its expanding organizational structure and workforce, this increased budget allocation may still prove to be insufficient to meet the escalating needs. Shown in the slide, in the proposed fiscal year 2025 targets for tiers 1 and 2 as derived from the agency performance measures submitted to DBM. Okay. Number of agencies compliant to the Citizens Charter for Tier 1, 11,176.
ED,
Yes.
particular sa mga LGUs na wala pang Citizens Charter, ano po yung plano para mag-comply sila?
Most of the LGUs have already submitted their Citizens Charter, Madam Senator.
Good
They
hear
belong
po,
to the almost 97% compliance rate, Madam.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Okay. Now, shown on the slide for the proposed fiscal year 2025 targets for Tier 1 and 2 as derived from the agency performance measures submitted to DBM. Now, for Tier 1 level budget, ARTA has been allocated 365,880,000 for the continuous implementation of its existing approved PAPs. In programming these limited funds, ARTA has prioritized allocation for mandatory expenditures of the central and regional field offices. However, upon thorough evaluation of its operational needs vis-à-vis the budget ceiling, it became apparent that only partial of the mandatory expenditures are covered, leaving other critical expenses such as training, other professional services, etc., with insufficient funding. These critical items are then apportioned under the Tier 2 agency request. For our Tier 2 proposal, amounting to 669,617,000, representing the priority programs, activities, and projects for the next fiscal year. The specific amounts will be discussed as shown in the slides, Madam Senator. For central management and supervision, we request for an additional budget of 327,259,000 for to monitor and evaluate compliance to RA 11032, 126,348,000, to institutionalize regulatory management system and EODB reforms, 98,718,000, to provide legal services and public assistance, 117,292,000, or a total of 669,617,000. In total, the proposed 2025 budget, ARTA is asking for 1,035,497,000, of which 38% is for personal services, 45% for MOE, and 17% for capital outlay. This proposal is anchored on the trust and priorities of the administration's 8-point socioeconomic agenda and other socioeconomic development frameworks such as the Ambisyon Natin 2040 and the NEDA PDP 2023-2028, as well as the recently revived World Bank Business Ready Report. The salient features of our proposed 2025 budget are as follows. Additional funding for the continuous operationalization of the major offices in the central office and its 8 regional field offices. Acquisition of permanent office space as well as a training facility for the Central Luzon field office located at the new Clark Government Building Center. We also envision this to be our satellite office in case the big one happens, Madam Senator. Proposed funding for additional plantilla positions and organizational units supporting the agency's thrust and priority of expansion by next fiscal year. Institutionalization and realization of internal and external ICT projects and expenditures in support of the national government's digitalization drive. Institutionalization of ARTA's transformation hub we call the Sulong Bagong Pilipinas, which aims to help national government agencies and local government units to reduce red tape, improve transaction systems, and re-engineer their procedures. Proposed funding for overtime services of its rank and file employees and special counsel allowance for attorneys' attendance to court hearings. Continuation and expansion of projects for streamlining, digitalization, re-engineering, and other EODB initiatives such as the National Policy on Regulatory Management System, the Artemis, PIBRIS, etc. Dedicated budget for the regional field offices to implement the major programs, activities, and projects of the agency, such as the conduct of town hall meetings, on-site inspections, EBOS validations, commendations, orientations, trainings, surveillance, and investigation. We feel, Madam Senator, that our 8 existing regional offices composed of 7 plantilla positions are simply not sufficient for us to cover the whole country. If we may share, during the budget deliberation in the House, there was a recommendation from our sponsor in the House,
Sino pala yung sponsor nyo doon, ED?
si Congressman Bongalon. And he asked us if we can set up a separate regional office for the Bicol region, because our Southern Luzon field office simply has too wide regions to cover. So hopefully if we can have a separate region for the Bicol region, then that will really help us.
At ano yung response nung sponsor nyo sa House dun sa Tier 2? A-actionan ba niya?
I think so. Yes, Madam Senator. Mm.
Very supportive naman sa ilalabyo pa nila yan sa House.
The sponsor is very supportive, Madam Senator, and during the plenary, they will really lobby for the increase in for the congressional insertion that will help us continue with our regional field operations.
Sige po, i-monitor namin yon para ma-parallel namin, if not be able to work directly. Pero i-explore po namin.
We also intend, Madam Senator, for the full mobilization of our surveillance, investigation, and enforcement activities. If we may share, because of the lack of that confidential fund, medyo bumaba po yung aming surveillance and investigation activities dahil nga po minsan po nag-abono yung aming mga official in terms of yung, lalo na po dun sa what do you call this, mark money. Wala po kaming ganon. So, pag ginamit na po as mark money, hindi na po yun ma-reimburse. So, yun po. Also, we plan to intensify our compliance monitoring of all covered government agencies and instrumentalities from the local barangay levels to Philippine government offices, even located abroad. To the Citizen Charter, Client Satisfaction Survey, Electronic Business One-Stop Shop, and our whole-of-government re-engineering. Streamlining and digitalization of the complaints handling and resolution mechanism through the electronic complaints management system. In fact, we plan to launch it by the end of the month, and by December, we shall have our beta testing, and by first semester of next year, this will be fully operationalized already, Madam Senator. For our 2025 National Expenditure Program, the agency's total budget of 383,632,000 is distributed as follows.
Pero ED, before you continue, yung ka-enumerate nyo na mga detalye dun sa Tier 2 items, I don't think I have it in hard copy. So pahingi na lang po para magabayan din kami how to respond to that dito sa Senate version and monitor it in the House version. Salamat po.
We submitted it yesterday, Madam Senator.
Okay po. Salamat. So please proceed dun sa NEP.
Okay. Continue, Madam Senator. The distribution is as follows: 48.38% for personal services, 46.91% for maintenance and other operating expenses, and 4.71% for capital outlay. Shown in the slide are the performance indicators of ARTA based on its approved Prexy structure alongside the fiscal year 2025 NEF level targets. These targets reflect the Carta's commitment to the performance of its mandate despite the decreased budget allocation compared to the current year's appropriation. Hence, the request for additional budget. The succeeding slide contains the details of ARTA's request for additional budget, which shows the authority's initiatives to advance our goals and objectives for the upcoming fiscal year. Shown in this slide is ARTA's adjusted fiscal targets for fiscal year 2025, should its request for additional budget be granted in totality. 3 of the authority's performance indicators will be increased accordingly, with 2 of doubling in amount. For the support for the operationalization of offices, divisions, and units within the general administration and support, 60,518,000. Implementation of PAPs in the regional field offices, 40,726,000. Strategic mainstreaming of agency initiatives and public relations strategies, 37,029,000. Inspection, compliance monitoring, and ease of doing business summit for Philippine government offices and even abroad, 9,362,000. Continuous implementation of compliance monitoring and evaluation mechanisms, 7,876,000. Sustained activities for the 10 priority programs, 9,920,000. Continuous implementation of various regulatory management system and ease of doing business reforms, 21,717,000. In view of the foregoing priorities, Madam Senator, ARTA requests for an additional budget of 491,502,000 pesos on top of its fiscal year 2025 national expenditure level budget to implement its strategic initiatives effectively and efficiently on a wider geographical scale. Securing the approval of these financial resources will strengthen ARTA's strategic position in advancing its goals of delivering government services efficiently, attracting investors to priority sectors, and fostering a conducive environment for business startups. Thank you, Madam Senator, for this opportunity to present our budget proposal.
Thank you too, ED. Comsec, may mga colleagues ba akong hahabol?
As of now, ma'am, wala pa po.
That being the case and without prejudice na makapagtanong yung mga colleagues ko sa plenary, the budget of the Anti-Red Tape Authority is deemed submitted. This hearing is suspended. Mabuhay po.
Thank you very much, Madam
Senador na maaring at harinawa ay darating to the Civil Service Commission family sa pangunguna ni na Commissioners Chair Eileen Lizada at Ryan Acosta. Nabatid ko ay nabigla rin sa desisyon ng kanilang dating chair na si Attorney Carlo Nograles na magbitiw. Pero tulad nung excited ako nung pamumuno nila noon at yung pamumuno nyo ngayon, ay excited din naman ako para sa kanyang bagong kabanata sa buhay na haharapin. So, gayunpaman, and the chair apologizes for arriving late. We're here to examine the budget that CSC will receive for 2025.